Gold Coast, they are certainly in top four conversations as we speak. So they absolutely dominated Richmond by the tune of 84 points at People First Stadium. Rowell and Anderson probably with another 3 Brownlow votes, the 38 disposals there. But the big conversation is how high up the ladder can the Gold Coast Suns finish, because they're currently 5th with a game in hand. And their games are against Carlton, GWS, Port Adelaide and Essendon to finish. So they are so well placed here. Yeah, you'd think they'd win all 4 of those. The game against the GWS is at home, so that will be a tricky one for them. But maybe they're timing their run to perfection. They've beaten Collingwood and Brisbane leading into this game. So the game against Adelaide is the black mark for them, that you sort of go, well, that's them against a real contender who we think is going to be there at the pointy end of the season. So, look... that's against Port Adelaide. Adelaide a few weeks ago? Carlton, GWS. No, sorry, I meant in terms of losses they've had recently against Adelaide. So, I think they're a year away, but you don't want to get them. On the G, they're fast as well. They play the Damien Hardwick brand of footy, and today they smacked the Tigers. They made Richmond look silly, and Richmond obviously only kicked 2 goals 11, but all the parts of the Gold Coast Football Club's offence, defence and contest got going today. Where's Rowell and Anderson in your Brownlow discussions?
Oh, he gets another 3 today, and I know everyone's saying that Dacos is over the line, but I'm not convinced that he's over the line. I think that this guy's going to make a serious charge. It's just a matter of which way they go. Do they go Rowell or do they go Anderson most weeks? If they fall in love with Anderson, he could have a serious run. And I think he's second favourite right now. He's had 38 disposals again today, 15 contested possessions. He's getting 30 plus every week now, and Rowell was amazing again. 12 clearances, 7 of the last 8 weeks he's had 10 plus clearances. But this guy's the line breaker. He gets in a great space, he's a corridor hunter, and he's got beautiful skills. So I just like how he plays, the damage he brings.
And history shows the goal-kicking midfielders get the votes, and he's certainly been doing that, where Matt Rowell keeps running into the umpires, so I'm not sure he's going to be getting any favours. So I think it's going to be Noah who's getting the votes. On the flip,
suggesting some peroxide for the last 3 weeks just to make a real charge.
I think he needs a headband.
Yes, a headband, something like that.
Yeah, something loud.
On the flip side of the coin, not good news for Jonty Fall, the young Richmond key forward. His season is over. Hurt his knee. Adam Muse said it's a medial ligament, or likely medial ligament. Certainly not an ACL, so likely his year done.
Unfortunate to hear, but with Damien Hardwick right now and that Matt Rowell, Rowell Anderson combination, having those 2 magnets at your disposal week in, week out, I think the coach is pretty happy to have these 2 under his wing.
They're pretty special, aren't they? I think one of the commentators called them Batman and Robin the other week. You know, they complement each other very well, and what I've been pleased with is, those players are both incredibly talented, but they've improved their game, and that's the measure of greatness. I think, every year they come in and they try and implement something, and, both Noah and Matt work incredibly hard with Sean Grigg, their line coach, and do a power of work, and there's a reason they're some of the best players in the competition. And, we've always sort of admired them from afar, but when you get to work and see what they do, there's a reason they're great players. Not only great players, great leaders. The leadership these 2 have actually always had within them, but under the tutelage of, David Swallow, Jared Witts, Sam Collins and Tuke Miller, all of a sudden those guys have stepped back. These guys have stepped up and filled the void. We're very, very lucky to have some outstanding leaders in our footy club.
It seems it has been a seamless transition with Rowell Anderson as skipper of the Gold Coast Suns. What about this incident with, umpire contact? You mentioned it before. It's been a big topic this season. What about this incident with Nankervis and Witts?
Yeah, let's take a look. Certainly has. The centre bounce has been a big discussion point. In a great interview, football boss Greg Swan on 360 said basically it's in the gun, and then with that bounce, which sort of is a bit skewed, you see Richmond ruckman Toby Nankervis plough straight into the umpire. So really, I think that it's a complete accident, clearly, but does it add to the weight that the centre bounce should be binned? Because it is an unpredictable element of our game, and, we've probably lauded and welcomed that. But if we're serious about looking after the umpires, Jack, should we scrap it altogether and just throw it up, as Greg Swan basically hinted throughout the week?
Well, Greg Swan's in charge, and this is an easy one for me. And there's the nostalgia, and people could say it's a part of the game, a fabric of the game. That bounce goes directly over the umpire's head. What are the rucks supposed to do in that situation there? Toby Nankervis comes in and makes contact, so get rid of it. It's the only time that we do it is in the centre, and other than that, it's thrown up around the ground. Whether we throw it up, I don't see grand final day being ruined by the first bounce or the first throw up of the ball being thrown up in the air. I just think it adds an element of stress to the umpires that we don't need. I mean, there'd be the anxiety about getting it right, but also you can see where it goes. Just throw it straight up, get the game on a go.
You agree with that, Kingy? Sackett?
Yeah, I'm not fussed about the bounce. Yeah,
Jay,
I don't think it's major.
Yeah, I agree. I don't go to the footy going, gee, I can't wait to see the umpires bounce the ball today, so I'd be happy with them throw it up.
So if Greg Swan said on 360 that he would like to see it go, it's gone then, isn't it, if he's in charge? Or is there people further up the chain will go, no, it needs to stay?
I think the traditional element is a significant one. But, yeah, I don't think it's a huge loss for the game if they got rid of it.
For once, I think we all agree on something. For once, that's a first.
We didn't agree on our votes tonight.
Round 21.
Our tips, sorry, we'll go to that later.
Round 21,
Yeah,
and we
it's taken a
finally
while.
agree on something.
We agree with you, Kath, on everything from here forward. We know the rules.
So Gold Coast next play Carlton at Marvel Stadium on Saturday night. We'll be on board for that one. Richmond hosts the Saints at the MCG next Saturday. Let's move on to what happened at the SCG this afternoon. It was Sydney. They survived a bit of a scare from Essendon. The Swans won by 14 points. But we're probably hoping for a bigger margin considering the Bombers' injury crisis at the moment. But a win's a win, and we have to talk about Brodie Grundy. People probably going, hang on a second, is that correct? 39 disposals, a career high for Grundy. So he's continuing this great patch of footy. 39 disposals, 13 clearances, 32 hit-outs. He's making a real run for another All-Australian Blazer.
Yeah, he is. He is making a charge, and credit to him. He grabbed the ball out of the ruck 10 times today. So he saw an opportunity to just do this, grab and kick. And not a lot of quality necessarily come from it, but it certainly got the ball going the Swans' way. Handballs, that's what the midfielders start to complain. If you don't give him a little pop handball, they don't get any love around the clearances. But 39 touches. He passed his coach, who had 36 as a PB, so I'm sure that'll get a mention during the week.
Devil's advocate for a second, 100 metres gained. So that's high statistical numbers, but not
and
for a lot of
clearances.
Metre, and they lost clearances, exactly. So does that temper the performance a little bit, or am I being a bit harsh there?
Oh, look, I think you still got to get your first hand. You've also got to look at who he rucked against. I mean, Todd Goldstein isn't Todd Goldstein of the North Melbourne era as well. Peter Wright's not a ruckman, and Blackiston's been playing back. Essendon have been smacked in the ruck. They were smacked by Kieran Briggs there and Tom Green in the clearance battle.
Still had 9 score involvements. I mean, it's still a strong day. Yeah, one disposal off 40. And we thought that some of their prime movers had a great awareness of the game. Guys like Goulden and he.
Goulden had absolutely no idea. Roll the vision, because this was Goulden's chance to, be a team player and say, here you go, Grundy, have 40.
Look,
he's on.
Here's the chance.
He's in full flight there.
Goulden's on the wrong side for a left footer too.
Look at him striding.
I think Brodie knew as well. I reckon there was a little bit of, come on, give it to me. But 40 would be nice.
This is a great effort from the Bombers. I mean, with so many kids, we know how young this side has been. They've been touched up over the past sort of 6 weeks, really. So to go up there, they would have been worried. A clear class difference, really, against the Swans. But Brad Scott be pretty pleased with that.
We like McGrath in the middle, don't we?
7 clearances.
I think we like that. 7 clearances. Get your better players around the ball and see if they can generate some scoring. So that was a positive. He had 26 disposals. Today was great.
In terms of the ruck battle, sorry, Kath, are they looking at life without Sam Draper? I mean, we're talking a lot about Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira waiting for his signature, but we haven't seen it at Bomberland either. So do they go with a 38-year-old Todd Goldstein next year? Nick Bryant coming off an ACL, Vigo Vicentini, very young, Lockie Blackiston, been playing in defence. There's a quandary there for this football club about what they do on the ruck.
This is a part of the injury discussion that we have, is that these injuries aren't just going to be set and forget and all of a sudden come round one next year we get everyone fresh again and we go again. It sets Essendon back 12 months of where they thought they would be. That's the damaging aspect of these injuries. And the ruck is, I don't know whether you can go with Todd Goldstein again or whether Todd even wants to go again. Obviously he's been a champion of the game for a long period of time, but there really isn't many bona fide rucks you can go and get. Obviously, Brian, we probably won't see until midway through the season. So it is a quandary.
They've got to get one. They've got to do something, Jack. They've got to get aggressive. They've got to get out there and get in that space. Can't just roll in with this next year and expect a different result. I think that they're a fascination at season's end. There's been a lot of conversation about the reset, the rebuild. What are we building towards? Be patient. This is going to take time. I think the end of the year will give us some answers. We're going to have a heap of draft picks. Is this the right draft to have those drafts? Because I think there's a deep conversation to have about the Bombers.
And Brad Scott, I don't think when he took over 3 years ago, did he ever think in his third season they would have gone back this far? I don't ever remember that being part of the press conference or the sell, you know, when he took over.
It is really hard when they've had that many injuries as well. I mean, what do you
so
do?
the list decisions are critical. We're not being critical necessarily of performance,
This season,
but the eye
yeah.
on the future, the eye on the prize. That, you know, we'll get a lot of answers in October.
100%.
Well, and Dyson Heppel played his whole career without a finals win, without any team success really. Is Zach Merritt be thinking, well, am I got the same fate
What's
lie
your
ahead?
gut feeling with what happens there?
Oh, gee, I mean, he's the captain, right? So this is massive. Would the Essendon Football Club want to let him go? Absolutely not. So it's a huge decision. I just think his faith and his patience and the whole club's vision would be really tested. I mean, it's interesting. He'd be talking to the club leaders a lot, but I mean, yeah, I think he would stay because I don't see a world where the Bombers would really let him go. He's probably too important, but he'd be frustrated.